Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to EFA7070 today on this Thursday, June 4th. Today I'm honored to have Greg Pollock here, Gladiator Strength and Conditioning in Ottawa. Greg Pollock with Gladiator works at the dojo and I want you to go into your extensive background, and I want you to talk about what you do and where you're from, because you, Greg, have a big background in restaurant industry and training industry, professional training industry, like very elaborate. You're very interconnected worldwide as it pertains to traveling and that when it comes to the world.
Yeah.
You are directly affected right now, correct?
Big time, yeah.
In Ontario, and now, and this is a fellow conservative here, strong-blooded fellow conservatives here,
yeah.
And I'm speaking directly to Mr. Ford, and Mr. Ford, I'm talking to all your assistant deputy ministers, every elected official out there that in Ontario, and everybody under you. Everybody that has control over decision making in Ontario right now, I want you all to please listen to understand everything that borders Ontario to Quebec and everything that borders Ontario to the left to Manitoba. Everybody is crossing the borders across Ontario through to Quebec or Manitoba to take services that are provided by professionals like Greg here. From the restaurant industry to the health and wellness industry to the salon industry, the hairstyling industry we talked about on EFA66. So Greg, if you want to take a moment, and I want you to tell Ontarians right now, tell the world, because this is EFA, this is worldwide, right? People like yourself around the world are being affected, right? They're being controlled, your livelihood. This is your livelihood, correct?
This is my livelihood, yes.
So please tell us, who's Greg Pollock?
Well, I spent a great number of my years from a young age working in the restaurant business, so it breaks my heart to see what my fellow restaurateurs are going through right now. And throughout my whole restaurant career as well, I was always involved in health and fitness. I was always into strength training. And I spent many years, like I said, working with the Lone Star Cafe, which was one of Canada's most successful restaurants ever. And I learned a lot as, not only of the restaurant industry, but the business industry and how to operate that way. And it installed a lot of things in me. And my dream was always to be able to open up a gym and to train people. I trained my first athlete when I was 18 years old. He was my best friend, and he was playing for Peterborough Peats. And he came to me because I was heavily into lifting then, and he said, Greg, it's my NHL draft year, and I was told by my agent that I have to put some weight on. Can you help me? So I helped him and put on 20 pounds on him of muscle. He had his best year ever for the Peterborough Peats. He broke a record, which is still held to this day, of assists, and he was drafted 64th overall by the Pittsburgh Penguins. So that was kind of the seed that led me further in my life to know that I could do this, but it was just a dream.
How old were you?
I was 18, 19 years old.
How old are you now?
I'm 55.
So you've been doing this since you were 18 years old, and now you're 55.
55, yeah. It's been a big part of my life. I actually started training myself when I was 14. I was always a small guy. But throughout the restaurant business, I never thought that, one day that I would have my own gym. But then I took a turn on Bank Street, just out of the blue, and I saw the Theriault sign. And
this is Bank Street in Ottawa, the longest street in Ottawa.
Yes,
continue.
Yeah.
Continue.
And I was driving, I saw the Theriault Jiu-Jitsu and Kickboxing sign, and something told me to turn and go in, and I met Hanshi John Theriault, the founder, right there on the spot. He introduced himself to me, and he showed me around his dojo, and I signed up on the spot. And we developed, I was a student of Jiu-Jitsu for many years, developed a very good relationship with him and Jean-Yves. When I saw his name on the window as well, I was, wow, he was one of my heroes growing up.
Jean-Yves Theriault, world kickboxing champion, 23 titles, I believe, yeah.
That's right.
96% knockout rate.
Yes.
Amazing kickboxer. Like your likes of Joe Rogan around the world, they talk about Jean-Yves, right? Jean-Yves Theriault is very well respected. John Theriault, Hanshi John Theriault, the founder, I believe, 1968,
yes.
1960, Theriault Jiu-Jitsu. I was 8 years old when I went to Theriault. Lifetime member. I was a lifetime member when I was 16, so continue.
That's right, yes. So when I saw Jean-Yves as well, his name on there, I thought, wow, he's actually in here, and Hanshi John told me, yes, he does the kickboxing classes. And so, like I said, I joined up on the spot. I was training jiu-jitsu. I really, really enjoyed it. And as time went on, I got to know the two men well. And when my sons were young, they were playing competitive hockey. And I could see there was very few hockey training facilities. And the ones that were around were very, very expensive. And I just felt that I could do better and I could do this. So I started training teams when my kids were little, and word kind of spread to other teams. I started lugging equipment, dumbbells and kettlebells and stuff like that, and in a big duffel bag, and going to a community gym or to a park. This was probably 15 years ago. 15 years ago when I started doing that.
Good job.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you earned it, right? So
yes,
I know you. You earned it, right? You built your name. You built your reputation. You have a really, really good reputation in the sports industry, the training industry. No, you do, but you earned it.
That what I was going to say was, you know, I had to do the legwork first, you know, and then when Hanshi, John Terrian, and Jean-Yves were about to open up a new facility, where we are now at Terrian, Ottawa South, I approached John Terrian and I said, listen, I've got an idea. We can add fitness to your programs and we'll become partners, and let me show you what it's all about. And you know, I thought I would give it a shot with him. We developed a good relationship, and he believed in me, and he gave me the opportunity, and the two men gave me the opportunity, and I've built up a very strong clientele of general fitness, but a lot of elite athletes that are depending on
and I want you to brag here, because, and I tell people, never be afraid to shine, and I'm serious about that. Never, because you earned it. Everybody that I know personally that has earned that has achieved something, they earned it. I want you to shine right now, and I want you to tell them what you offer to the elites, to the professionals. Because I don't want to speak up, but if you can give names, or not even names, even sectors, if you want to talk about
absolutely. Well, you know, let me just start with a sport that not a lot of people would play or whatever, but lacrosse. Everyone knows lacrosse. I was training one kid for many years, and he now is at the University of Denver on a full scholarship playing lacrosse there, which is the at the time it was the #1 program in the United States. So he got a scholarship there. He was training with me, still is training with me. I've been training another young man that since a young age as well, and he is now the men's Canadian javelin champion. So he hopefully will be going to the Olympics, you know.
Wow.
And these are all people that are depending on strength and conditioning to better themselves in their sport, you know. From fighters like Jonathan Mounier, who was the World Combat Aikido champion. He trained with me for a little bit, and he told me that that improved his sport as well. Like Paul Norman as well, who was the men's Canadian amateur heavyweight kickboxing champion, trained with me as well. Many hockey players that have made it and drafted to the NHL and gotten the scholarships. And then some of the women athletes. I've got the first woman to ever pitch in a men's university baseball game. So she pitched, no other woman's ever done that before. And you know, I attributed some of that to, you have to be strong enough if you want to compete with the men. And I got her strong enough. She had the will and the determination, and she's done quite well. Another that you know, was a pitcher on the women's Team Canada baseball that won the bronze at the World Championships. They beat the United States for the bronze down in Florida. Some young football players that are now making it to the university level, and hopefully I'll have a few playing professional. I've had, you know, one young man trains with us when he can. He's the backup quarterback for the Toronto Argonauts. I'm not going to take full credit for him, but he does come and train with us on the odd time. Yeah, so various different sports, but
and listen to what you and I'm just listening to what you said. For somebody to do what you're doing, when I say you earned it, you built a reputation, and through the success of your clients, and through the success of your training, and through the success, your name started getting out there.
Yes.
And if you look at what you talked about lacrosse, you talked about kickboxing, you talked about hockey, think about that. All these realms and all these sports, your name is out there. And I know this because, and I know because I know you, but I also know when you talk about women, I'm a strong advocate, and that's why I love shows like American Gladiator, because when you put men and women together, and they're training in the same competitive field, the CrossFit Games now, men and women competing in the, yes, is there differences? Absolutely. But is there women out there that are beating men? Absolutely. Yes, and you know that, right?
Sure.
100%. My daughters, giddy up, right? You can challenge a mountain, right? And that's what I love about you. And I see you training women, I see you training men, and the age groups, like you have a
big variety of age
groups. A huge variety of age group of who you're training. Yeah. I'm 54 years old, and I completely redone my life a year ago. And I see myself intrinsically, like for the rest of my life training, and I look at a man like you who turns people around. You literally take something and make it better. You know, from a coal to a diamond, right? A diamond in the rough, and that's what you do. You take champions and you make them elite champions, right? You take great athletes and you make them champions. Like you say, some will make them their way to the Olympics. That all said, can you do it now?
I can't. You know,
why can't you?
My hands are tied. The law is not permitting me to help the people that need the help. A service that I think is necessary not only for my athletes, in order for them to achieve their livelihoods. These athletes that are trying to get scholarships or trying to play professional hockey, they need to train, you know, and you know. But there's a lot of my general fitness people as well too. This is part of their life that it helps them in their life to come to the gym at a certain time, see the people that they enjoy being around, getting a good lift in, feeling healthy about themselves, clearing their mind. They depend on this. And you know, I've had calls from some of them as well too, that they're like, Greg, when can you open your gym? Like, I'm really, really missing it, and it's hurting me. Like, it's actually hurting people that they can't come and train. And
Greg, I'll guarantee it's hurting them physically, psychologically. You know it, eh? You need to train it. Psychologically, and I talked about this the other day on the EFA70, the opiate use in rye. People not able to train, just from a haircut to going to the dojo and training, getting that, you feel it, right? Right. I'm an energy guy, and I was talking to Jean-Yves, the champ, tonight. Jean-Yves and Hanchi John Terry, we were talking with them, and you can speak on their behalf here tonight. And Jean-Yves was saying he knows that his students are hurting. Yes. And he knows like that they want to train, they want to come out, and they can't, right? You said you can't, because if you did in Ontario today, a corporation, I believe it's up to $500,000, and I talked about this today, you can do jail time, like a year in jail. Like, think about that, right?
It's a killer.
But everything that borders Ontario, they can jump over the border, like literally, they're open borders, right? Jump over the border, walk over the border, and all the services that are illegal in Ontario that you can go to jail or get a massive fine for, people are crossing borders now, and our services are being offered by other provinces. And I'm speaking to you, Mr. Ford, and I'm speaking to all of you in Ontario right now that are managing our province and are managing our money and are managing our laws. You are enabling Ontarians to cross a border into Quebec and Manitoba to steal business from the tax-paying business owners of this province. You've created not only an underground economy, but you've also created an economy to push people out of the province into other provinces. So now if you listen to the news and you listen to the other provinces, all the that borders Ontario, they're going to tell you how busy they are right now. Greg, do you have a schedule? Do you know when you're opening?
I have no idea when I'm opening. And,
do you have any clue from your governing body, the people, like I said, asked you today, the people that could put you in jail, the people that could fine you, have they told you when you can open?
They have not told me that, and I haven't even received any type of guideline for if I do open. You know, I've heard smaller numbers, keep your place clean, but what exactly does that mean? You know, we've been, my business, I've been doing that anyhow. I've been keeping my place clean, wiping down all my equipment, and I keep small numbers because that's how I train people better.
And I'm speaking from experience here. Terrier Jiu-Jitsu has been around since 1968 for one very, very good reason. They're reputable, principled, family values, clean dojos. Your dojo, your training center is always immaculate. I've seen, what would you call it? It's Gladiator, but what would you call your because your gym is nice,
yes,
right? You have some good equipment. It's always immaculately clean. I always I see you late nights. I did the dojo. You're there. You're cleaning,
mopping, cleaning, all the equipment.
Before COVID-19, you had a schedule of cleaning, correct?
Absolutely.
I know.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Right. I didn't have to teach you how to clean.
No.
I didn't have to teach you what sanitary measures you needed for something you've been doing for how long now, right?
Long time.
A very long time. Jean-Yves and John Hanshi in the chat, they've been doing this for 50, 60 years. They don't need nobody to tell them how to keep your gym and dojo clean, right?
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No.
And now, right now, you don't even have a schedule. So government, we know how they work. They're going to come up with a schedule. So you might be able to open in July-ish, maybe August, right? We'll see. But maybe September.
We thought we'd be open now.
Well, why would you think that?
Well, after the last emergency order, we thought, okay, one more emergency order, we'll bear it, and then all of a sudden, a couple days ago, another month.
Well, so, I would think you should be open by now because of data, because of the facts, because of the science, because of the numbers, because of the geographical, because of the zone. Right now, because in Ottawa, because we're on a border, everything that borders Ontario should be open legally. Every city, every town. And I'm going to ask every conservative out there, listen to Greg, what he's saying here. Please listen to understand. Call your councillors, call your mayors, inundate the phone lines, inundate the emails. Call every single politician that's ever been voted and ask them to please stand up for our fellow Ontarians here and the world, right? In the world, your fight people, your trainers, your people that understand health and fitness, psychological, the impact of it. Please, call your politician and open up the world, right? Open up Ontario. Because, Greg, I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably going to go into more debts because it's going to be longer periods of time. You're going to go in on conditions of so many people per square foot,
right,
or conditions of the time periods in a day, or conditions. Can you operate under all those conditions?
Well, I'm going to do my best, but I don't think it's fair. I don't think that the government should be telling me how to run my business not successfully. You know, a lot of business models are built on a certain number of people coming in order for you to be able to make a living.
Your entire business structure was designed pre-COVID-19.
Yes.
Can that entire business, and I'm asking all business people that entire business, can you do it under...
That's right, that's right. We don't even know yet because we don't know what numbers they're going to say, but if they're only allowed, you're only allowed 5 people at a time, well...
I want to tell you something. The people that are dictating to you how to run your business, I'll guarantee you have never run a type of business you have, or have never even run a business. But they're telling you how to run your business, how to run your club, how to run your training, how you run your schedule. And let me just forget you. How about your athletes? And how about the people that come to the dojo or come to the gym? How are they going to? I like to train sometimes 5, 6, 7 in the morning. Right? There's people that you build your schedule around them because they're business professionals, they're athletes. So what if you have to tell them, I can only train you in these windows? Is that going to work?
That's not going to work either. You know, I'm providing a service. I'm in the service industry. Even though I'm helping people, it's still a service. And if I can't cater to what they need or what they want or the time slots they want, that probably won't work either. You know, I'll probably lose a number of clients, you know, because of that.
Today, Greg, on EFA70, I talked about tomorrow in Ottawa, and this is the world, what's going on around the globe. Whether it's box stores, whether it's grocery stores, whether it's pet store, everything that's open around the world right now. In Ottawa, you can go to mall and it doesn't look closed, right? And you can go to I can go to these big box stores. I won't name names out there, and I could go to all their food stations. Yes. I could say, hey, sir, try this. This is amazing. You're gonna start eating. I'll have 15 people all chewing down together, everybody within each other's area. Tomorrow in Ottawa, there's going to be some marches.
Yes.
I talked about this today. There might be 1,000, 100,000, beautiful day tomorrow, right? There's going to be politicians there. There's going to be people wearing gloves and masks, and they're going to be everything, right? They're going to have their noodles around them for their distancing and all that. But I'll guarantee you, take every red light camera, your computer people out there tomorrow. Take every red light camera and compile them together. You're going to see politicians rubbing elbow, mingling, talking with other people out there. And those people out there, Greg, I'm going to tell you, a lot of them will be on full salary. They were never affected. The politicians mingling tomorrow, full salary. They were never affected. Yeah. There's going to be thousands of people that's working from home, marching tomorrow on full salary, never been affected.
That's right.
Have you been affected from day one since March 15th?
I've been affected since day one, absolutely.
Maybe everybody in that service industry, like you, the restaurant industry, the dojo industry, the health and fitness industry, salon industry, no salaries since March 15th, and tomorrow there'll be thousands and hundreds of thousands. There's hundreds of thousands of people around the world right now cramming in.
Yeah.
Right now, full salary, mingling. And when you do that tomorrow, please, every one of you marchers tomorrow, every one of you minglers and crowds, when you're looking around and you're mingling, you're rubbing elbow and etc., even with your mask and gloves and all that stuff, think of individuals like Greg in the service industry and the salon and restaurant that can't even get a salary since March 15th, and you're on full salary mingling around with the thousands protesting, which is your legal right, but you got permission to do that tomorrow. People are remember that. People are like mayors and that are at these functions tomorrow with thousands of people marching. Think about that. Yes. At a function that is permitted by law. And you are not permitted by law to operate because you'll go to jail or you get a fine. And also the optics, right? Let's talk about the optics.
I was just going to say that, you know, at the start, I could understand for a few weeks because we didn't know a lot of information. But with all the information that we have now, and to go through this for so long, and then to have the extended emergency, and then to hear that our mayor is going to be marching in a massive crowd tomorrow, it just kicked me in the gut. It really, really hurt, you know.
Jim Watson, please listen to understand.
And I'm sure you're a good guy. And
great guy. They're working hard.
Yeah.
They're working hard.
But you got to start thinking about the small business owners like myself, the restaurateurs. We need to get back to work. We can do it. We can do it safely. It's not fair at all. We're going to see what's going to happen tomorrow. You're going to see thousands of people marching together, and it's going to break every single rule that we've been told that we cannot do, but it's being allowed. And we're not allowed to open our business. We're not allowed to help people or provide our service that people do need. You know?
And I want to talk to the government because I remember 27 years of government, 30 years in business. I'm interminded, and a lot of government people are not interminded. We're going into the summer season. Just like when you vacation July, August, and September, businesses is one of their slowest sometimes. A lot of the restaurant industry, a lot of the business industry, it slows down in the summer. The patios are busy, there's certain aspects, but people are traveling, people are vacationing, people are family time. And all the businesses I run, July, August is slower, right? So even if you gave them the chance to open right now they're still affected by the summer months, right?
Yes, and the general fitness program for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So even if you allow them to open now, they're still going to be at less capacity because you're going into summer season, right? Yeah. So open Ontario now. If you were to talk to them, Greg, if you were to, and I asked this the other day, if you were to look at the camera and say, talk to Mr. Ford, talk to Jim Watson, Pierre Poliev, like your fellow conservative member of my riding, and you often come out with great initiative, Mr. Poliev, and a lot of things. And I know you've been fighting hard, but these are fellow conservatives here, and we're speaking loud. We're standing on our soapbox here, and we're asking you to please help Ontario open. When you're looking at Manitoba, when you're looking at Quebec, and the luxuries they have compared to Ontario, if you were to look at them as a businessman, you understand the restaurant industry, the health and fitness industry, you understand your clients, you understand what they need, you understand what the dojo needs. Talk to them, and this is your chance here, because this is going to go live, and this is your chance to speak to them.
Yeah. Well, to all the decision makers, Mr. Ford, Mr. Watson, etc., you know, we complied. We didn't quite understand what we were complying with, but we did it. We've done it for a long time. But right now, and even before right now, the science and the stats don't bear out being closed anymore. Other businesses are open and they're thriving because of the shutdown of certain businesses like mine, like restaurants and stuff. It's time to open up, or the repercussions of this, not just the economic, but the mental issues for people and the health issues for people, it's going to be far worse than anyone can even imagine. And you know, of all things, people wanting to stay in shape and just have their 1 hour workout, or an athlete to be able to try and train to keep in shape so they can keep their spot on their team or whatnot. And you're shutting this down. Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. Show me the facts. I mean, we already know that it's not transmissible by surfaces now. The CDC put out that report. So, you know, we're still doing our due diligence. We'd be cleaning the machines like we always have, but now we know that you can't really even transmit it that way, you know? So people are worried about, well, what if I grab the barbell and then the other person, well, first of all, it'll be wiped down. Second of all, well, it's not really transmissible that way anyhow, you know?
You have sanitizer station, you have your spray bottles, your towel station, your wash station. And I'm going to tell you from just the cardio kickboxing, we all have our own geographical space.
Exactly.
We all, because you're training, right? You're moving, you naturally have your space. And when you're doing you're doing like stations, right?
That's right.
Most of your training, so you already have those measured procedures. Exactly.
And I can tell you, the week and a half or 2 weeks before everything was locked down, all of my junior hockey players and OHL hockey players and stuff, their season was shut down, but it was supposed to be temporary. So they all came back to Ottawa and they all wanted to train with me to keep in shape because they thought it would reopen in a few weeks. So my gym was actually a little busier than ever, but because we knew that the virus was there or going to be here, I mean, it was March, we followed stricter protocol, but not much stricter. But I just made sure that the guys and the girls were keeping a little further distance. Everything was being wiped down a little more regularly, you know. We were making sure everything was good. And then March 15th or 16th, I think you said everything had to shut down. But leading up to that, it was a busier place than normal. And not one person got sick. Not one person has gotten sick from that. And a lot of people were going through, you know.
Greg, I'm going to tell you, I have never, and I said this on many EFAs, I have not stopped from day one. I've been on job sites from day one, but I've driven by major projects in the city of Ottawa. And city officials, city officers, city workers, private industry, big giants out there, and just standing together. Because remember in March and April how quiet it was out there? All these crews and like standing together, side by side, leaning on cars, drinking their coffees. Not one of those individuals are sick today, I'll guarantee you that. They're all, I see them every day. I see them still today, that we're now going in June, right? Since March, I've been seeing the same guys working outside. They're laying gas lines, they're doing all that stuff. Yeah. Same people, I watch them every day, standing together, every single day.
That's right.
But you can't run your business. You can't have a couple of individuals in your dojo not being trained, but I can go to, I don't want to name names here, but I can go to big box stores, I can go to park. There's people training on beaches, there's people jogging, there's people that...
That's right.
But I can't go to your dojo. No. And that's the sad thing, and you know, and I'm looking at EFA70 here, and this is about the plight here. I'm specifically talking to Ontario, to the Ontario government, because we're dealing with Ontario, but this is a world situation, and this is a psychological situation, a mental health situation, a physical situation, a business situation, a unfairness situation, an unbalanced situation. Doesn't make sense. This is the world of bizarro. It's upside down, right? You feel like it's upside down because you as a businessman, you're walking through the world, you're going like, I can't run my business, but you're walking through crowds, right?
Yeah.
You can go to Costco, you go to, I'm naming it, the big boxes, you can walk through crowds.
That's right. That's right. And you know, you go to...
Have you ever walked through those crowds in your dojo?
Not lately. No.
Ever? Have you ever walked through thousands of people?
It's never overly crowded.
That's my point. That's my point.
But you know, you can go into the store, the grocery store, and I can watch the stock boy, no gloves, no mask. We're in a tight space. I walk by him, and he's stocking things on the shelf. I can take something off the shelf, have a look at it, and then put it back on. Somebody else can take a look at it, put it back on. Who knows how many people, besides the stock boy too, for it to get there. They're doing that without a problem.
I'm asking all techies out there, just put your cameras in every aisle. Your grocery store aisles, your pharmacy aisles, your big box store aisles, just put a camera in there, and I'm telling you, thousands and thousands of products are being touched every single moment and everything. Always. The stores are full. Yeah. The stores are full. They have food stations. They have everything. And there's some stores out there that sell everything, literally, and they're open, wide open.
When you go in for takeout, it's no different than it ever was. You know, like if you want to support a takeout place, or you go into your restaurant or whatnot to take it out. I mean, like some of the pizza chains and whatnot.
And in your large restaurants, your steakhouse we talked about earlier, they're shutting. They're going to be shutting down. Yeah. There's some very large, we know,
that's right, that
are hurting.
Yeah.
And some of them have been in business for 20, 30 years, 50 years. and they're a month away from closing some of these places I've talked to, right? And you know them too, a lot of them out there.
And that
so,
really hurts to hear that.
It wasn't because of, I'm not going to shut you down, Greg, because of your lack of anything. I'm going to shut you down because I can.
That's right.
That's what's happening here. I'm going to shut you down because I can. Yeah. And regardless of the facts, regardless of the data, regardless of any common sense out there, I'm going to shut you down because I can. And I'm not going to change the ideology or the principle because of perception and optics.
That's right.
And this is what I'm talking to government out there. Please listen to understand. It's okay to pivot. It's okay to change direction. It's okay to say, you know what? We've underestimated or overestimated areas. It's okay to work by zones. It's okay to work the borders of Ontario. You need to open up, at minimum, all the borders surrounding cities all across Ontario, at minimum.
Absolutely. It has to happen now. For every single day, more and more businesses are going to close. Like, there's just no way around it. And the devastation from that, like I said, we don't even know. I mean, but it'll be far worse than we can even imagine. Like, I truly believe that. You know, got to get the businesses open ASAP.
So, Greg, I want to thank you today. Thank you for coming in. I've asked you to do that. I wanted you to speak openly. I saw the posting this morning from Jean-Yves Theriault, the champ, and he talked because his students, his livelihood, are asking him to open, and he, just like you, I want to open, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't open because the government won't let me open. I can't open because I'll have a fine. I can face jail time. And two, they want to be respectable members of society. You believe in democracy.
That's right. You
believe in rules and regulation. You believe in following the laws, right?
Absolutely.
And this is the punishment you get. You're being punished because you're a hardworking business individual, entrepreneur that follows rules and regulations. And right now we have a massive underground economy that are stealing your business, and has all your overhead stopped?
No.
And right now there's a huge underground economy that the government has created that are stealing your business, and your overhead hasn't stopped.
That's right.
Jean-Guy Bourguignon, Greg Pollock, thank you, Greg. Gladiator Strength and Conditioning. If you want the very best of the best, Terrien Jiu-Jitsu, Ottawa South, Terrien Jiu-Jitsu, the franchise, Gladiator Strength and Conditioning, Greg Pollock. Look it up. Do you want to give your website, Greg? Give your website, give information out there. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Gladiatortraining.ca and Gladiator Strength and Fitness on Instagram, and same as Facebook. So please give us a look, and hopefully when we open, you'll give us a drop by and check it out. And thank you so much for having me here. I wanted to say that before you finish up. I really appreciate you giving me the chance to be able to speak and voice my frustration. It's actually hurting me, you know. It's hurting me physically and mentally not to be able to be open. So I appreciate your having me in here.
Greg, it's my honor to have you here, and it hurts me to hear you hurting, right? Because I know the level of dedication you have. I know that who you are as an individual. I know who you are as a trainer. I see you from morning. Anytime I've seen you at the dojo, you're constantly working you are an integral part of the community, not only of Ottawa, globally, and I'm talking about athletes. I see young athletes, young girls, like my daughters, and young boys becoming athletes through you, right? And history is made that way. That you are the grassroots, and you are the foundation of what we have, and this is why it hurts me, and this is why I want you out here. And then please, like, look, show your t-shirt for a second there. Gladiator Strength and Conditioning. Look up Greg Pollock, Pollock, correct?
Yeah.
Look it up, please. And I'm telling you, you're gonna have some of the very best training. And when you're talking about lacrosse and NHL and football players and baseball players and kickboxers, there's a reason why they count on and call on Greg.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jean-Guy Bourguignon, EFA70, thank you very much. And please call your politicians, inundate those phone lines, inundate those emails. Every single member of politicians, up from your councillors, your mayors, all the way up to Mr. Ford, all the way up to your presidents, all the way up to your prime ministers. Jean-Guy Bourguignon, EFA70, thank you, Greg. Thank you, everyone.